I need your help. I let AI completely pick the color orders of my granny square blanket. And I don't know how good of a job AI did. We're gonna lay out all the pieces of the blanket and then we're gonna figure out if the color layout is right. I have a feeling that it's not though. So the first 60 squares of the blanket, I was able to make all of the squares no problem. And then the last 20 squares, I felt like I just ran out of like so many certain colors. And so I think AI kind of screwed up my quantities of amounts of yarn. Okay, so I kept all the squares in order in the numbers that AI had told me to make them in. And so we're going to keep them in order as we lay them out and figure out if the color combos and what's next to each other is a good fit. Okay, I'm definitely not impressed with the layout of how AI kind of like did the squares in each row. They have a lot of same colors like repeated at the same amount of times. So then you have like these rows of like yellows, rows of pinks, rows of blues and stuff like that. And so I don't think that that looks very good. So what we're going to do now is we're going to take a black and white picture of the entire like layout. Then we can see the tones of the colors and kind of variegate the blanket so that the same tones aren't together. The other thing that I did not like about AI is they grouped a lot of the same colors together. And I didn't realize it until I was like halfway through and I was like, you know what, we're just gonna keep going with it and let it ride. But they grouped a lot of the same, like these same 4 colors got grouped all the way down. And so it's just kind of like off. Whereas I feel like if I had some of the yellows with the blues and purples with the yellows and things like that, it would have really variegated the colors a lot more and I would have been a lot happier. I did tell AI to like variegate everything and don't do like anything the same, but apparently I didn't catch the biff. What you notice from the gray picture is that there's a lot of the same tones in a straight line. So I think that I'm trying to figure out how to then like move them so that it's still even. And I feel like there's a mathematical equation to this and like there should be a mathematical way of like switching these things around, like every 4th one moves or something like that. I don't know, I'll have to figure it out. Okay, so I think what I've decided that I'm gonna do is I think I'm gonna leave the first row as it is, and then the second row, I'm gonna move everything over 1, and then the one at the end will move to the front, and then the third row will move everything down 2, and then the last 2 will come to the front, and then so on and keep getting like staggering larger and larger all the way down. I think we're gonna try that and see if that works. Okay, let's take a new picture and see if that kind of variegates it a little bit. Okay, I think that made a huge difference. However, I still feel like there's a lot of the same colors together. So like right here, there's a lot of like the same like purples together. And then there's like these green outer ones. And then, yeah, so I'm just gonna like go through and just make sure that there's not like a ton of the same color like right next to each other. I think that'll kind of help separate it a little bit. So we'll give that a try. I'm also bummed because there's a couple that are exactly the same. And I did not, like I told AI not to make them the same. So I don't know if they just weren't listening or what. guess this is what you get for allowing the supercomputer to like make your choices for you. Okay, I'm letting the blanket sit on timeout for a bit. I think I got it to where I like it. I think. I took another I have like 10 black and white pictures on my phone, but I feel like I got everything kind of separated in their tones, and then I got everything separated by the colors. So there's not like yellows next to each other and pinks next to each other, things like that. And then now it's just sitting on timeout. I have to walk away and come back to it because I feel like I'm like looking at it too much and it's like overwhelming. I think it's in a good spot though. I really do think it's in a good spot. Now that I've been messing with it and messing with the squares and stuff, I actually don't mind so much that certain color groups got grouped together. I think that kind of created some just like cohesiveness with that, like with certain color palettes. And so I think it kind of makes it a little bit easier then to like separate everything out. So I'm not completely against it. I think it does look good. AI might have done a good job. So if you haven't seen in my other videos, the blanket that I'm making is a Hygge, it's the Hygge Burst Blanket by Nautacrawl. And we are doing a make-a-thon with a group of like 40 ladies. And that's hosted by Melissa Made That. And so we're all in this group and we're finishing this blanket in a month. So I am, I'm done with all my squares now, obviously. And now we're going to join it all together. And so it's kind of a join as you go method. So as soon as I get the layout the way that I want it, then I'll put them all back on the little binder rings that I had them on in the beginning and put them in the order that I want them. And then I will just start joining them. Okay, we're just gonna go with it. I could think this to death and I could like completely like spend hours trying to make it perfect and it's never gonna be perfect. I mean, realistically, like there's just so many colors within colors and all of that. Like it really does not matter. Like everything is spread out pretty well. And I did take another black and white photo again, and the tones are pretty separated nicely. And so I think we're just gonna go with it. So I'm gonna start putting them back on the binder rings that I had them on and get them in the numerical order that I want. And then we'll start joining and hopefully it is what it is. Okay, so I wanted to say thank you for hanging out with me today. I know this is kind of like an off-the-wall video, but I thought it was fun to like show you guys the finished squares and all of that and the layout, and I thought that maybe you would have fun watching me think. I don't know what else to say. Anyways, but it was fun hanging out with you, and I'm glad that you were able to watch my thought process and all of that. So anyways, but if you like this video, please like and subscribe down below. I would love if you like subscribed because I am so close to hitting 400 subscribers and that's my goal. I want to hit 400 after this video. So anyways, so if you could do that for me, that'd be amazing. And yeah, so thanks for hanging out. I hope that you guys had fun watching and stay tuned. I am gonna finish this blanket within the next like 2 weeks. So stay tuned for that. Go over to my Instagram and follow us on there so that you can see the updated blanket and how far I've gotten along on it. So anyways, thank you again and I'll see you next time. Bye.